Namaste, gods, goddesses, and emissaries of light. This is Dr. Shreya Tayen. If you are new to my channel, please like, subscribe, and do not forget to hit the notification bell so you can be updated on my latest and my current videos. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge all of my new subscribers. Welcome. Thank you so much for your love and your support. Thank you for my subscribers who have purchased my workings, my spiritual workings, such as the Karmic Flush, the Violet Flame, and the Archangel Michael Attunement. These are my 3 most popular services. And also, those of you that had to have gotten this in a combination, some of you had to have extensions of the Archangel Michael Attunement because of this spell work was not just spell work, but it was much deeper. And so I thank you for trusting me, believing in me, and may Source and your guides and your angels continue to guide you. You continue to listen as you're given instructions and directions on this path, because everyone that I've just mentioned, including myself, only wants the best for you. You see, nobody likes a fair weather friend. Here today, gone tomorrow. And I believe for some of you, you have gotten so discouraged that you even forgotten your own power and who you are in this twin flame journey. And so I am going to try to set the record straight as much as I can, as much as is humanly possible within this short period of time that we share in this time in this space. For some of you, you may have noticed that I have disabled the likes and dislikes, and I am going to share with you the reason why. The reason why I have disabled it is because I know energy. And I know where energy comes from and what type of energy I'm dealing with and when it's coming into my channel. And there is a lot of karmic hatred and spiritual daggers, let's just say that have been thrown at me because of 1, me helping you guys on your journey. 2, you're getting results and it's working. 3, they're not liking it. So some of you guys as karmics that are connected with your divine counterparts have been coming to my channel and disliking my videos because I've been helping to break up the magnetism between them and your divine counterpart. Some of the karmics are even karmics that are associated to my divine masculine. And so therefore, my angels told me that being a powerhouse and a source of power, you disempower the power that is not wanted. And so therefore, going forward, for those of you that are watching this video, because I'm not going to mention it in any other further videos because there's no need to, there is no other reason other than the reason that I just told you that I have disliked it, or I have enabled the dislike and like button. You will no longer, going forward, have the option to like or dislike unless it's on a community post that I post on YouTube. Otherwise, it will not be there. It's not that I'm trying to hide who likes and dislikes. It's that I am dismantling that low vibrational frequency from off of my channel because the energy is so heavy from it that I can even feel the hate behind the dislikes. Yeah. I never, and this is not my first YouTube channel, I've never felt so much hatred in my life. Not only towards me, it's not personal, it's not towards me, it's towards some of you as my subscribers that have come to me and turned to me for help because it's working. And the karmics are very mad because you have broke the magnetism through the spiritual workings that you've hired me to do, and they don't like it. But guess what? It's not our problem, it's theirs. And so therefore they can hate on their own realm of existence, and they don't get an opportunity to come and rain on our parade when we're getting spiritual insight and when you're getting spiritual food that is being taken in to be assimilated. Okay? All right, so let me go ahead and call in some help like I always do. I will call in all 6 elements. I will call in air, fire, water, earth, spirit, and ether. And I also call upon the highest of the highest of the high, which is Yad-He Vahe, to be able to give me the information that is necessary for all directions in time and space. And so it is. For those of you that also have ordered the Kit Karma and the Asprey, there has been a small delay in the shipping. I plan to get these shipped out by the end of next week because my labels came and they were, let's just say, not up to par. I am a perfectionist when it comes to things that are printed, and since I am paying for this, it has to be right. It has to be exactly the way that I want it to be. So therefore, small delay. I do apologize in advance about that, but I have not forgotten about it. Soon as they come, I will slap those labels on there and get them right out to you. Okay. Thank you so much for your patience. So I want to go back to what I mentioned about not being a fair weather friend. You see, when we are fickle and we don't know what side of the fence that we stand on, we become renegades. We become betrayers. And you don't want to betray your twin, because to betray your twin is to betray yourself. So as you can see, you are the spell. You are the karmic's kryptonite. And I'm going to go into this reading to tell you why I'm telling you this and why I even titled the reading to be in such a way that you understand, and overstand exactly what it is that I'm trying to convey to you. Okay, so crowning your reading, you have this beautiful card here, which is the soul of the drinker. Okay, divine feminine. As the high priestess, you are also known as this spellcaster that I mentioned. Whether intentionally or unintentionally, you possess so much power that beyond the power of words. And behind these words and that power that you have comes responsibility. You see, you have the ability as a spiritual being devoted to helping in this twin flame collective to bring about the enlightenment of all that is involved. And it is required to have and show great compassion, understanding, and overstanding, and forgiveness. And so the soul shrinker himself is coming to drag this situation into conversation, because when we speak poorly or abusively of others, it drags us down to their level. And if we're just sputtering words and looking for words to grab out of thin air, it may suggest that it is now time for us to use these words to express our feelings and energy in a more positive way. And so it becomes our choice as we test whether or not we're going to say positive words or negative words. There are two important things about malicious gossip and excessive criticism, verbal sarcasm, and scoring off with others. One is that it demeans the speaker, which is you, and it makes him or her less. It makes you have a darker aura, and it encourages the behaviors and the habits of the one that you're speaking about, and it continuously erodes the brightness and the potential goodness of you and your strength of character and who you are, you see. The other important thing is that this is a way that we actually curse others. By your words, you're either condemned or justified. And even if the recipient doesn't hear the actual words of the blessings or the curse that you choose to speak, even if the words are not spoken out loud, they are still carried as discordant notes through the universe to the recipient. And fortunately, that is not all that there is to it. And such behavior will be unforgivable and it will be wicked. Not that it isn't pretty much nearly that way already, but we all have a choice about whether we accept curses or blessings. And if we choose not to accept it, and if we do choose not to accept it, then all of the energy boomerangs back to the sender, who then gets a well-deserved double dose of it. And the sender will be you. There are power in your words. We need to be critical thinkers and be aware of malicious thoughts and words because they have a detrimental effect, especially with the situation and the people that are involved in it. Steps are needed in order to be taken to banish this cursed energy through love and compassion, or the very least through forgiveness and refusal to accept the cards within themselves that have been dealt to you in order for you to turn back around and dish it out to the other person. And just by recognizing the implications of this transforming of energy, the behavior, and the feelings that are involved is a major and often very difficult step for us to take in this spiritual development. Trust me, I've had my own due diligence and share in speaking about the karmics, the family, and everyone else that has gotten involved in my union. And one of the things that usually happens when we involve ourselves, we become responsible. We become responsible for ourselves and our own feelings rather than blaming other people for the way that we act and operate. Okay, it's called accountability. Another part of the process is that we learn to be compassionate towards ourselves. And sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit in a particular situation. Somehow we start to discredit our own selves and our own abilities to finagle and move through tough situations with our divine counterpart. If we can do that, if we can have more compassion, it will make it much easier not to be horrible to other people just because that's the way they are. That doesn't mean that we are supposed to be all sweetness and light all the time. That's not what I'm saying. Constructive criticism given compassionately is a part of being real. And in reality, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be in touch with our true deepest feelings when it comes to these particular situations that we have dealt with in this twin flame journey. No, you don't have to become a pushover or a doormat. That's not what I'm saying neither. What I am saying is that you are not to cast yourself aside to please others as someone that's less than, because your feelings do matter. Your emotions, they matter too, and they are worthy of your self-expression, and they are deserving to be heard. In your next card, you have this Titan self. You have this in reverse. It's about knowing your power, staying in it, regardless of whatever the situation may cause. And This card, it represents the master maker, speaking about being a magician. It speaks about moral strength and craftsmanship, knowing your craft. You are the master of fire, air, earth, and water. So he adds to the fairy elements of the moonlight to everything he creates. The moonlight is shedding light, revealing secrets, tackling difficult challenges, and having determination to surpass previous achievements, and being patient. Patience is a virtue in this matter, and it will help you to be diligent. And this card is about having moral strength to refuse to give in to the temptation to do anything less than. Not everyone can do everything superbly. Not everyone can do everything perfect the first time. This is about learning your own limits. Whatever you do, you need to do it well and make it better than what you did even the first time in which you did it. And in order to have the desirable outcome in your present situation that you're connected to, it is necessary at this now moment. Do not cut corners, so to speak, and don't take the easy way out. Rather, making a thing or fulfilling a concept, be so pure and elegant and let it flow and follow it through by attending to every detail and taking the time necessary to work it out. And in order to have long-lasting achievements, we have to be creative, problem solvers. We have to take confident in action. And we also have to be serious about our craft, even to the point where we have to teach others how to do it. That's who you are, divine feminine. You're very skilled at what you do. How come you don't give yourself enough credit for this? Because you are magic. That's who you are. You are the spell. The divine masculine, at first he thought that you put the spell on him. You didn't put the spell on him. You are the spell. And he's the spell too. We're all in this hypnotic spell that is leading us to our divine paths. You have the Lady of Harvest. This is a very, very beautiful card because it talks about being bountiful. But in your bounty, you stand at the gateway of initiation. It is often difficult to tell where we are going, and the process may feel more like we're lost. And it may seem like as if we're not even moving at all, but you are. You're in to the new level of being. There is no initiation without testing. And this testing must take us to our limits in order to be valid. Initiation is not just an charming ritual with candles and incense and other, metaphysical paraphernalia. You see, true initiation is about being grounded in material and both reality. And it extends through the body, mind, and our emotions, and it moves through our souls. The testing occurs on all levels of our being. The more profound the change being processed, the more rigorous the test becomes. However, these initiations are only given when the singer knows, which is you, because you're singing this beautiful note to the universe. We have the potential, the ability, and the opportunity to pass them. And if we pass the initiation that Source offers us, we are strengthened by the process itself. And working through it, we learn something about ourselves. And we move finally, irrevocably, from one way of being to another. Prayer and affirmations from inside and help on the outside with our tribe, our spiritual tribe. They become a great deal of our process and helping us to discover and showing what we're made of and what we're capable of doing. And this is a test. This is only a test. One requiring much, if not all, of our inner resources and our inner strength. It demands that we give a new version of ourselves. It demands that we go beyond what we have achieved before. We can no longer approach this the way that we used to approach this in 3D. This is multi-dimensional. So instead of asking things like, why is this happening to me? Or when is this going to end? Or when is my twin coming back? How about asking, how can I do this better? How can I handle this more wisely than I ever have before? It's not always necessarily about being freed from the problem, as opposed to tapping into your inner resources and inner wisdom to resolve it. The Lady of the Harvest, you're being told to let go of what is finished, to liberate yourself, to move on to the next phase and the activities of your relationship. For some of you, you are entering into a grieving process, and that only scales the intensity of the emotions that you are having at this now moment. You need to be patient and kind to yourself. And as we all go through the grieving stages and the grieving process, whether it be small and it would only take a few minutes to get over, or whether it be large and take us years to get over this greater and bigger loss, the other side of letting things go, from there, it's so much lighter and happier and more beautiful. Because when we release those old traumas, those old programmings and timelines and tasks and stages in our lives that we are so glad that we have finished and let go of, unhealthy relationships and feelings and emotions that causes us pain and inhibit our growth, they fade away. It is time to accept these changes now, to move on to the next phase of your life. Power and strength in the present and the future comes from releasing the past, you see. This is a time of liberation and jubilation, release and the liberation of your soul. Maybe both joyful and painful at the same time, but depending on the circumstances, if you have to cry, cry if you have to. Cry if you need to. Be joyful if that's what it is that your heart wants to do, your soul wants to do, whatever feels good, whatever feels right. But in either case, trust the process. Acknowledge what you feel and prepare to move on. You have the Bodacious Bodak in reverse. This card, it brings order into our lives. You find this card when things just never seem to turn out quite right, or the way that you want them, or the way that you expect them to be. It's about appreciating what you already have. Someone somewhere is meddling, uninvited, into the issue that is currently at hand that we're speaking of that's close to you. It may even be you, or it may be someone else like your divine masculine or your divine feminine. See if you can work out who it is and what it is, and begin to untangle the messy web that have been woven of confusion and disorder and misunderstanding. It will take great firmness to get this person to keep their sticky fingers out of your affairs, or to keep your own self out of the affairs of your divine counterpart. Maybe you might be too close to your divine masculine situation. But the amount of time you use in sorting this out is up to you. The person that you're dealing with doesn't usually notice hints too well. Maybe you need to remember that and keep that in mind. And remember, whoever this card says that, whoever the person is, they do mean well. They may even believe that themselves, that they're not really causing you harm, but they mean well in what they are doing. It is very hard for you to believe that bad results are always just an accident, because they're not. This is about moving away from negative words and to stop them as they come in to our mind and replace them with positive thoughts, positive words. This card is about not leaving a situation just dangling, but to tie up loose ends. And this card is about setting a certain matter straight. It is that time. You are having an imbalance in your life. You're not balanced with your giving and receiving. You may be overcompensating a particular situation, and this card is calling you out on it. Oh, yeah. So it's calling you out so you can be more balanced. From practicing this in our lives, we learned that there always is a return, often from the least expected sources. The universe likes to keep its account up to date. And so this card is showing up to keep the credit side of your cosmic account balance by letting you know, by freely giving, you shall also receive. We have been given the earth, the sun, the stars, and the moon. We have been given trees and flowers and all the things to eat in multitude of perspective of friends and family. So therefore, it is going to take considerably an amount of generosity to come back into balance with all of those gifts we have already received. You can never give too much. You can never give enough. This card shows up when you are stuck or blocked in a situation, and it's turning up because you probably need to stop focusing on what you are trying to accomplish and simply just give to others freely, generously, and unconditionally. The Bible says that God loves a cheerful giver. Give to a stranger. Give to a coworker at work. Give without any reason, whether you think the person deserves it or not. Take flowers to someone at a hospital, a perfect stranger, and just give it to them randomly. Give more than you think you can afford. Go a little further than what you think you are really able to do. Give to a beggar on the street. Don't worry if you're going to be compensated in return. You will be surprised on how fast your bank account and your pockets fill up, even much faster than what you expected. So this card is about charity and casting your seeds of harvest so that they can return back to you tenfold. And in the process of taking care of yourself and doing things for yourself, you become like Kryptonite to the Karmics. When you're minding your own business and you're doing your own thing, what can people say about you? And when they say something that's ill-mannered or degrading, it only reflects back on them in the end. There is a saying that a lie has endurance, but the truth has momentum. And for those of you who are very familiar with momentum, it most certainly does last a lot longer than endurance. So always remember that you are the high priestess. You are the spellcaster being responsible. Because your words, they are your wand. And you can speak about whatever it is that you want to bring about. And you can even bring about what you don't. So focus only on what you want. And don't focus on the karmic or giving any energy to that cause, because what you feed lives and what you starve dies. And the last card in your reading, you have birthing a new age. Dreaming a new world into being. Often our path is exactly the one that we don't feel prepared for. We don't feel prepared to walk the walk. Walk it anyway. Often we are intimidated by the things that intimidate us the most. And what is that? Whatever it is, be courageous and do it anyway. We are birthing a new age. Right now, we're in a transition between ages and a process of allowing the old cycle to fall away and new ones to arise. Like driving in the fog and trusting the road will appear ahead, we need to release old identities and ways that no longer serve us. Using our intuition as we use it to guide us as our compass. You are a part of a group of souls who have been incarnating at significant periods of history, preparing for this exact time. Dreaming a new world into being. We are in this new world. Magdalene sisters, daughters of the Isis, the Essenes, priestesses, witches, mystics, healers, seers, midwives, visionaries, guardians of the earth, and storytellers, and much, much more. Herald the times that we are in, and it heralds it fast, and we are those people that I have just mentioned. We're those people reincarnated. We are the ancestors coming back. That's who you are. That's who I am. And at this very time, you're given permission in this space for what is beckoning you within you to be brought forward and to be born. We are dreaming a new world into being, and it is perfectly okay for you to be what your soul is calling you forward to become. And I have come to the conclusion of your beautiful reading. You can see me on the other side for $11.11, and we will do some further healing there on the other side. And for those of you that have joined me here, thank you so much for your love and your support of this channel. I can't thank you enough. It is a good karma to like, share, comment, subscribe. Leave a love donation if you feel inclined to. You can also purchase a gift from my Amazon wish list and it will appear on the channel. I now wrap you in my love and I cloak you with the light of Christ consciousness. And so it is, everyone. Namaste.